Walcott, also known as Papa Keith, in the building.
Hey, dímelo.
There's so much to talk about when it comes to the legacy of PK. But we want to start first. Where does your South Florida story begin?
Man, well, I moved down here officially about 30 years ago in Miramar. Both of my parents are from Trinidad and Tobago. They actually had me in Brooklyn, New York. My parents got a divorce, and that's what brought me to South Florida. I first settled in North Miami Beach. I went to JFK Junior High School, and I went to North Miami Beach Senior for 1 year, and then I went back to New York. And then I realized, man, I like it better in South Florida. At first I thought it was slow, but in comparison to New York, it was just a lot cleaner. It was a place you could raise a family, warm weather. So I moved back to South Florida in 1992, and that's when I settled in the city of Miramar.
Now, what was it like? Because DJing has changed so much throughout the decades. What was it like in those early years?
Oh man, listen, especially if you had to travel to different locations and you didn't have a car, we had to carry our records, all right? 12-inch records in crates. We couldn't afford professional crates at the time, so we used to use milk crates.
Wow.
I don't know if you know those old-fashioned milk crates. And we'd put the records in there, and sometimes, depending on the party, you'd have to bring 5, 6, 7 crates. So you'd have to have 5, 6, 7 friends. You all go on the subway with the crates and carry them on the subway, get to the venue, and set up your crates, and you'd have to play on the turntable. Yeah, a lot different now.
It reminds me of a house party.
Yeah, exactly,
Alarms, right,
exactly.
with the crates.
Just like that.
How did you end up in radio then? How did that work?
Well, it was a young lady by the name of Darnella Dunham who worked at 99 Jams. She was the one who introduced me to radio, brought me into the studio, and when I had that experience, I fell in love with it. So she introduced me to radio. I loved it, so I went to Miami Lakes Tech and took a radio broadcasting course. Because anything I do, I take it seriously, you know? So I went to Miami Lakes Tech for a year, and then I came back to 99 Jams, sat in the lobby for like 2 months, almost every day, looking for an opportunity to get inside the building. And then finally in 1999, in December, I got the opportunity to come inside to help them. At that time, everything was CDs. So it wasn't computer playing the music like it is now. You would have to take the CDs, put them in the shelf, take them back out, put them in the machine to play it. So they were doing the top 99 songs of the year. So that's a lot of CDs to pull, and they needed help with that. So they let me in, and I never left.
You said you were in that lobby 2 months.
Yes.
Right. You, after going to school for a year, you were taking it seriously. Talk to me a little bit about that. What does that say kind of about fortitude and just the person that you are?
I know, and we're missing a lot of that these days, and I don't want to blame the kids. I just would probably blame the phones. You know, it just makes everything seem so easy all the time, whereas we didn't have those distractions when I started. So the only way to truly understand and know, you had to be present. And I'm relentless. If I'm passionate about something, I'm relentless. I want to know for sure. And even if a person tells me no, I need to know why, or what I did wrong, or what could I have done better to have the opportunity. So that's what I believe in. I believe in just, you don't stop, especially if it's something that you're trying to do that's good and something that you're trying to do where you really want to serve in a better position. You have to be relentless.
At what point did we see the birth of Papa Keith?
I was a part of an underground radio station called Mix 96, and that helped to really build my name.
Was that the name that he gave you, or is this a name that you had already?
The name Papa Keith I got years ago in New York.
Okay.
Really, Papa is like a master of your style if you watch Kung Fu flicks.
Okay.
You know? Papa you, So it became like, because I was a leader. I was always a leader in any group that I was in. I was always the most outspoken. I was always the one to take the chances. So I was named Papa.
In many ways, we could say that you've been of service to your community through different initiatives, not just on the radio, but you do extensive community work. At what point do you decide, you know what, it's time for me to maybe go to a different venture?
I got invited by this organization called New Florida Majority. But at that time, they hired me as a radio personality to come out and rally, to get younger people to come out and vote. And in doing that, I quickly got to see a lot of disparities in the communities. I learned about things called food deserts and
Yeah.
digital deserts. You know, living in Miramar, you don't understand that, you know, unless you go into those neighborhoods and understand. There are places where there's no internet.
Yeah.
You mean there's places where there's no grocery with fresh food in
fresh lemon.
in a 3 to 5 mile radius? So when I saw that, it broke me. And I started to work more with New Florida Majority, started doing 3-a-days with them, different events, just trying to get young folks out to vote.
Wow.
So that's when I came up with the idea to do People Matter Fest. So that's the festival that I do once a year, free festival, hip hop festival, where I bring all of the county resources to one location with the concert, with a kids zone, with the art zone, with sports activities, and have everyone enjoy that. Attached to a 24-hour ceasefire where we ask for no gun violence 24 hours before the end of the festival. After doing that for several years, the issue now for me is that every 2 to 4 years, and you may understand this, I may have to deal with a different commissioner or mayor. And it becomes frustrating when you have to start all over with something that you've been consistent with and something that you believe in and you're doing and something that you're growing. And as they change and things change, it dilutes and it affects the mission that I'm trying to do. So someone tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, love what you're doing. Don't stop doing it. But if you really want to make the change that you'd like to see for your community and for those kids that you advocate for, you're going to have to do it from within. You're going to have to get involved. Scary.
I was gonna ask.
So the first thing I'm thinking is like, nah, I don't want these people on my business. You know, I just want to do my thing. You know, hey, I'm making my money as a radio personality here. And, you know, looking at it that way.
We're talking about being fearful a little bit. Did you, even now, like, are you scared that sometimes this may affect like your livelihood, you know, you personally, like the stress that comes with it? Like, are these things that go through your head?
So I get fear prior.
Okay.
Once I commit, the fear is gone. That's when I'm in relentless mode. I spoke to my team. Everyone around me believes, because of my name recognition, because of what I've done in the community, because of who I've been over the last few years, that I'm guaranteed to win, which is not the attitude I have. I want to earn people's votes. I'm knocking on doors. I'm putting in the work. You understand? And the bigger part of it, believe it or not, I can still lose. But if I lose, I'm coming back.
Are you excited too? Because it's like a new kind of part of your life now.
It is, but the most exciting part for me is the feedback from the people. I feed off of people's energy. When I knock on the doors and when I talk to people who come to support me, that gives me the energy that I need and allows me to know what I'm doing is right.
And there's also like this kind of like ear to the streets they need to have, right?
Yes.
Well, within all this. Now, why in Miramar?
Well, Miramar is what I know and grow. So Miramar is where I've spent most of my time, and Miramar is where I live. So I think I owe that to Miramar. You know, I was a young guy in Miramar. We didn't cause a lot of trouble, but I've watched Miramar grow over the 30 years. It's a beautiful, beautiful, progressive city. And all I want to do is just protect the future of Miramar.
Well, Papa Keith, thank you so much, sir.
I appreciate you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. D-Malo 305, thank you so much.